Welcome to We Know Marketing, We Promise. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Naoma, and this is a show about how to actually build a brand that works.
Okay, welcome back. We are talking about why you should hire a business coach and kind of the impact that business coaches have had on our lives and businesses, and why most people don't hire them until it's almost too late. Like, they should hire them earlier, in my opinion.
I agree, but I do think that part of the reason is there's like an intimidation factor.
Yeah.
Like, am I legit enough to have a business coach? Am I big enough to have a business coach? Those kinds of questions were things that rattled in my head for years before I hired my first coach.
Yeah, and I think you have to know generally, like, let's do a rough guesstimate of like, where do you want to go? Where, like, what kind of business do you want to run? How big do you want that business to be in 12 months, 24 months, 3 years? Like, I wasn't asking myself those questions early on when running my
No.
business. And so I was kind of just
I was just going day by day.
figuring it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so had I had someone asking me those questions, which is what a business coach is really good at doing, I think I could have maybe added a little bit of structure to my time, and I wouldn't have been that, busy playing business. Instead, I would have been actually moving towards a goal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I played busy business owner for way too long. I totally get that. But I think what pushed me to finally go and get a coach was I was like at a real crossroads with
Okay,
my
so yeah, when
business.
did you hire a coach for the first time?
At my 4th year.
Okay, when
So
would that have been? Like
4 years
4
ago.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't do that math. 2022. Not a math person.
Okay, so you had to reach a certain level of pain.
I had to reach a certain level of pain, and my pain was I had just fired a big client and on principle, so not because I had all this FU money that I could just fire anybody I wanted. But it was on principle. I fired this client, and then things
Do
got
people
real.
fire clients with FU? Like, I'm so confused. What was that comment about?
People have FU money, and then they're like, I don't want to work with you. FU. That's
S-
what FU money is.
But how is that different from just firing someone on principle of like, your character isn't great and we're not a good fit anymore? Bye bye.
The thing is, like, when you don't have money to act on principle, it's a little bit harder.
Okay, I got you.
It's a little bit harder to be like, you know what? I don't like you. Don't give me money when you have $300 in the bank account than when you have
And a baby.
thousands and you're like, I don't like you. Bye.
Yeah, okay. I understand now. Thank you. Move along.
So I had fired this client, and things were getting kind of dire with Nuevo. And I was also getting approached by other agencies in town saying, hey, like, you want to come be creative director over here? And
Oh,
there's like
job offering.
6-figure business, like salaries on the table. And I also had a little baby at home. I'm like, well, this is looking pretty good. But I was not rash in that moment, which is actually crazy knowing me. So I was like, okay, I've been doing this for 4 years now. I really need to think about, do I want to continue doing this or not? And before I just like throw it away and go get a job, let me give it let me give it all of it. Like, let's do everything I possibly can to make sure that I tried everything before I close this down.
So, yeah, do you feel like in the past you're someone who invites people in and like you're looking for advice and you're kind of like, or is that more of like you make big decisions like internally between, it's like just a you thing, or are
It's
you
just a me.
inviting in like a village?
I don't invite
Okay,
a village.
that's good to know. That's how
Yeah.
you and I are very different.
Yeah.
So you aren't normally someone who's asking advice for something, but then you reach a certain level of pain where it's like, well, I'm either shutting my business down or
I'm trying everything that's
and
in
a
my
business
disposal.
coach would be on that list of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was. Yeah. And so I remember meeting with my business coach and saying,
Okay, how'd you find her?
she
Him?
was recommended to me by another dear friend who was a few years ahead of me in business. And I mean,
That you respected.
that you respect, but you also look at people and you're like, man, they're so much more successful than I am. and I want to be like that. So if I want to be like that, let me do what they're freaking telling me to do.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, shout out Valentina. She's
It was
amazing.
Valentina.
It was
That's
Valentina.
amazing.
So she was like, you got to go talk to this person. And she had been telling me for years, like probably 2 years at this point. Cause we used to
Seems
have,
about right.
yeah, seems about right. Because I would have little coffees with her, little entrepreneur coffees, and we would just complain about business. But she was like, you need to go talk to this person. You need to go talk to this person. So I finally bit the bullet and I was like, okay, I'm going. And I felt so intimidated walking into the consultancy firm and was like, I'm not a legit enough business. Who am I sitting here with $600 in my bank account to like do this?
Yeah.
And I was very upfront with the coach and I was like, okay, this is what's happening in my business. This is how I feel. I was very raw and vulnerable off the bat because I was like, I know I need help, so let me
Yeah,
go.
you didn't have time to waste either.
Mm-mm. So I was like, I'm giving I started working with her in July and I was like, I'm giving it to the end of the year. And if at the end of the year, I still feel like I want to shut this business down and I want to go get a job, I'm going to go do that.
Hmm.
And
So you gave it that much of a time commitment and money commitment, not being guaranteed more
Anything.
business or like,
Nothing.
yeah, like what if you didn't have revenue? Then like
That's
I'm at least
part of-
trying it until.
That's part of being a business owner. But for me, it was like, yes, I'm giving it revenue and there's no guarantee in what I'm getting out of this. But for me, it was like, I am doing everything in my power that I know right now of what to do that's good for my business with the knowledge that I had at the time.
So what were the biggest things getting in your way of you hiring a business coach? Would you say?
I didn't feel legit enough.
Okay, so that's like a self-confidence thing.
I thought it was way too expensive.
Okay. So price.
Because at first it is a little bit of a sticker shock. You're like, I'm paying this much to just talk to somebody? That's crazy.
When you
Like,
haven't been paying that money at all.
when you haven't been paying that money at all and you're barely paying yourself, right? So the sticker price, and then just didn't feel like I was legit enough or like I also didn't feel like I had like real business problems, but it was because I didn't consider my business a real business at the time. Like I was like, I'm just a graphic designer. I just make stuff on my computer.
That's on the back end though. Like you can see those things now, but on the front end, when you were in it, the reasons were still the same? Or do you think it was just like, I don't need this. That doesn't work. Like when you were like in the moment.
I didn't think I was big enough to have a business coach.
Gotcha.
I didn't think I was legit enough for a business coach.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I remember that. I remember going up to those doors and being like, I'm a fraud to be here. And yeah, I think it's when you're in a creative business and when you're in an industry that people, and within your own industry, people devalue what you do. Like it's really hard for you to find value in what you do, though there is some.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that was
well, and you don't have someone like we've talked about, obviously the loneliness of entrepreneurship. Like you don't have someone whispering in your ear constantly, like, you're doing a good job.
No,
you are legit. You're great.
No,
you're doing a great job.
There's no
like,
boss telling you like, gold star, you killed it today.
Exactly.
It's like I either killed it or it killed me.
Yeah, or you're getting that from your internal thoughts, but most of the time your internal thoughts are way worse than like an actual boss would be. Like a boss would probably be way nicer to you. I mean, that's how I was when I first started. I was so hard on myself and the thoughts I had about myself and terrible. Yeah. And then you're also looking around and you're like, I have a team and I got to pay people. And how did I get here? Yeah. So then you hire the business coach and you start going once a week, once a month, twice a month. And how did you figure out that was like a good cadence? That's what they told me. Oh, like at this point you were like, I'm in. Just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Okay. So you reach a certain level where you're willing to do that. Yeah. But it takes you a while to get to the point where you're like, okay, you're the expert. Okay. Yeah. Takes me a long time to stop the fighting. Okay. So yeah, I just showed up and I was like, these are my books. This is my business. I don't feel like I should be here. I mean, I think I cried
in those sessions for like the first full year. Like every time I would go, I'd cry about something, like full on tears because I did not feel good enough to be a business owner.
Wow. And do you feel like throughout those sessions you were gaining that confidence, you were learning your value, your worth, you were
Yes, because I
speaking over
finally
yourself
had somebody
differently?
that was a little bit older than me saying, "Wow, what you do is great work. What you do is impressive. You help people." And I was like, "Oh, I guess I do help people." Like it was
Yeah.
really, I didn't have that reflected back at me, and my team didn't know how to do that because I couldn't even train my team to do that, right? So, um I was seeking validation from awards and what people in my industry thought of me. And not saying that those are illegitimate things, but I
They weren't working for you.
they weren't working for me. They still don't work for me. Like
Yeah.
I do the award thing for my clients because they love it.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I had to get to that point of pain to do that. And then in 6 months my business really started to turn around. She made me think about my positioning, think about my packaging, think about how we positioned offers, how we talk to people. And then the next year, I doubled my business.
Did she talk to you about goals after some
Hmm.
of that stuff was worked out?
Yeah.
Um, how interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize there was so much on like the personal side with confidence and value and things like that. That was not my experience with a business coach, like working with them at all. Like I didn't go personal. And I mean, it is very personal, but I think I did a lot of that work with my counselor
Yeah.
over the years of like, and still am working
Yeah.
on that, obviously. But I've always had business and personal like so compartmentalized that I'm almost like, even I was looking at personality traits and it's like, I'm actually a very nurturing friend and a very nurturing mom, and in like personal life, very nurturing. But then in business, nurturing was like one of the last qualities that I had,
Yeah.
which is so intriguing to me. But I do think I compartmentalize it quite a bit more. And so I did a lot of counseling
Hmm.
while also running my business. And that helped me understand like my value, my worth, and build up my confidence. And then I started seeing that translate into my business. But my experience with business coaching specifically looked a lot different, I would say,
Hmm.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Mine was very much, I just needed people to breathe into me,
Yeah.
like that I knew what I was doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I needed someone to like be hard on me. And
Yeah.
my business coach, like that, my experience in the beginning phases would have crushed you. And I
Yeah.
think
No,
that's really important to
100%.
know like what you need based on where you're at, and have a coach that can almost interview you so that they can discern where you're at and what you need and if it's even a good fit. Because
Yeah.
that kind of coach, I would have been like,
This is pointless for
what are
me
we
to be
doing here?
here.
Why am I here? Why this is a waste of my time, this is a waste of my money. I need you to challenge me. I need you to like tell me to get up
I mean,
as you do
there
with
was
me.
some of that, but not to the level that you need, that I know that you need as a
Where I'm at
person.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or as I need as a person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really funny. I was talking to a consultant yesterday about that. I was like, I think people are motivated by different things, and
Yeah.
I think it's your job to understand their motivation and how to motivate them
Yeah. So
before you take on that person.
absolutely. So do you feel like the first business coach that you hired, because I know you've had a couple now,
Hmm.
she was able to see what you needed and like see into that
Hmm.
and then provide you the care that you needed, and then also the challenge when it was time to challenge?
Yes, and she also gave me a structure of like, this is how we set a business plan, and this is how we set goals, and this is how we move towards goals, and this is um this is that kind of thing that I didn't know. I mean, I came from design and literature backgrounds. I don't know about a business plan.
Yeah.
um
And was this your first taste at, because I know you've kind of like, you love business now and you love
mhm.
operations and systems and processes. And problem solving really unique issues.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this kind of opened the door for this like whole new world for you?
Um, no, because I had been listening to, like, the year of the pandemic in 2020, I listened and read 55 books that year. More than half of those were business books. And I really fell into it. Like, I got really into the business, like the business bug. But
That's so crazy. You wouldn't hire a coach then.
I wouldn't hire a coach because I didn't think I was like,
That's mind blowing to me.
'cause
55 books, half of those being business books.
yeah,
Because yeah, that's where you fell in love with it.
yeah. Because I was like, how do I do this more? How do I do more and
Yeah.
more? And all I listened to on podcasts were business. And even to this day, there's only
Right.
one podcast that is not a business podcast. That's a history podcast
Also
that I
makes sense.
listen to. It makes sense, yes. But even to this day, all I listen to are business podcasts because I love
Yeah.
to think about how I can be more efficient. But I didn't realize that that was like a gifting in business world somehow. I couldn't see it then.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of like a unique pull towards it,
yeah,
I would say.
but I was also just consuming. I was just consuming and not executing. And I think that's where I brought the business coach in to be like, okay, I have this knowledge. I've read the books. I understand what I need to be doing, but I need the accountability of telling me like, why did you not do that? Where is
Mhm.
that? Why, if you know this, why are you not implementing it?
Yeah.
And the implementation, like you can have other people tell you to implement it, but it's really hard to do. Like it's really hard to start to really lead into the brand, like saying, this is the things we do and this is not what we do. Firing clients, letting go of services that were profitable.
That were
Like,
not profitable, yeah. Well, and
well, and even profitable, but you're like, that's not the direction my
Right.
business is going.
Right. That was not in,
That's a lot harder
that's
to
not a part of your
do.
vision.
No, but that's a
Yeah.
lot harder to do than it is to say or to be like, I'm going to do that. But it's a lot harder to be like, pull the trigger and do it.
Yeah, I know. And I'm sure they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is very, very hard. And but it is a little bit easier when you have someone like rubbing shoulders with you and like
it.
encouraging you and like locking arms with you
Yeah.
and standing there to like walk you through it. Which is
It's a little
what
bit
a
of
business
peer,
coach can be
yeah,
doing.
it's a little
Yeah.
bit of, but also peer pressure. I think it's also important to have to be surrounded by other entrepreneurs that are pushing you to, because they can see the potential in you. So they're pushing you to succeed.
Yeah.
And it's very grating because you get annoyed, but it's very, you want to be around the people than the people who are like, you're working too hard, chill out, relax. You sometimes need that, but if all your friends are saying that, you're moving too fast for them and you're intimidating them.
Yeah, or you also aren't being vulnerable and you're not sharing the actual problems you're having in business. And that's another piece of hiring a business coach is like you have to be willing to be vulnerable and know that there are some things they're going to say that are great and then that they're also human and not perfect and
Yeah.
they're also going to fail you. So they won't always do the best thing and that's okay. Like that's a part of the process. You're not always going to do the best thing. I'm not
Yeah.
always going to do the best thing, but we're going towards the same goal. We're trying to go the same direction.
Yeah.
And that's been outlined and communicated.
I think another thing is like when you really start to build the team and you're growing the team, you're encountering problems and you kind of want to unleash a little bit of those problems on the team. And as you're growing a team, you have to like kind of hold some cards close to your chest. And that's where I think a business coach is great to just kind of like be a source of venting, or this is the problem I'm encountering. How do I do this? Because you can't talk about it to your employee.
Yeah, you can't. I learned that one the hard way because I externally process and I was so
Yeah.
immature in early stages for sure.
You just didn't know. You didn't know. And
yeah, I was just immature.
but immaturity is part of not knowing what the consequence of that would have been. Now you know the consequence of that because you did it.
Yeah, but it just when I look back, I'm like, oh, it's just common sense, Kelsey.
But when you're moving too fast and you're growing and you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to do all the things, you're not processing common sense all the time.
No, definitely not.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I was going to ask you something and I just blanked. So Never mind.
It's
I don't
good.
know where I was going
So
with
then
that.
how do you know when you're outgrowing a business coach?
I think you kind of know. Like you grow as a business owner and as a leader, and when things you start to also know what you need in different phases of your business and of you as an entrepreneur. So, yeah, when I was first starting, I needed somebody to be very gentle and nurturing to me. Now I need somebody that's like, this is what you need to do. Why are you not doing it? Why are you still behind on this? That's what I need now. That would have broken me then.
Right.
And just like the nurturing now, I'm like, I don't need the nurture. I need the,
Hard truth.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think that's comes with knowing yourself, and the more you get into coaching and counseling, you start to understand what are some of your triggers, and like I said, how do you get motivated? Like I was talking to a friend yesterday, and I was like, honestly, this is like the Catholic background, but like shame is my biggest motivator. So if I feel ashamed about something, I will work to fix it way faster than any other motivation.
How interesting. So I think there are a few things, obviously knowing yourself, but like when you're reaching a place of you feel stagnant with a business coach, you feel like you're having the same conversations every single month, like those types of things, I think are good indicators that you've probably outgrown them, or you sit there and you're wondering like, why, like this isn't a good use of my time anymore, because that's the first thing I notice with anything is like I'm sitting in a meeting and I'm like very aware this is not a good use of my time. Like this is a $10 task versus a $10,000 task, or an hour off my calendar in this meeting was actually not what was the best use of that hour. And I think I started to realize that with business coaches. But
just to
yeah,
add
go
to
ahead.
that is because I literally just had this conversation with somebody an hour before we started recording, is when you're in business, you have to remember you have three resources at your disposal. You have time, you have people, and you have money. And so when you start to realize that you have less time and more money,
About energy and like mental capacity.
I mean, yes, that's part of it, but I think that goes into time.
Okay.
Like how where you're talking about the $10 test versus the $10,000 test.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's not worth my time. Not that even if I had that hour free, like that mental capacity should be somewhere else.
Yes.
So you have those three resources in your business. And so you need to figure out where you're at in the stage of your business and what you have more of and what you can leverage to build and scale your business. Sometimes you have more money and you can hire a coach. Sometimes you have more time and you can listen to all the podcasts and read all of the books and just know that you need somebody to help you implement or hold you accountable. And that, as somebody who read friggin' 30 books about business and implemented zero, that is zero knowledge that I implemented, that I read
Yeah.
then, not now. But and if I have people, how am I leveraging my people in the best ability? So keep that in mind when you're
Yeah, where you're at in business and where you want to
Mhm.
go. Like I wouldn't be as concerned about like where you're present right now today, but like what's your trajectory? Like
Yeah.
where do you see yourself going, and what are the things that you're doing today that are going to lead to other things in the future? And be thinking through, if this is where you're wanting to go, like what are you going to need to get there? Is that going to be more, entrepreneur friends because you don't necessarily have the finances for it right now, but you want to be at a place in 12 months where you do have the finances for it? Or do you really not want to grow that much at all in the next 12 months and you want to really maintain what you have been doing? Then what does that look like with, time, money,
People.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. I have a very different, but we're almost pretty much out of time. I was going to say I have a very different story with business coaching and consultancy. So I guess maybe we should do a part 2.
Yeah. We'll just follow around for part 2 for Kelsey's version.
Come back and see us. And that's a wrap on this episode.
If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a friend.